Hi everyone, this is the physio tutor from Get Ahead Institute, and in this video we are going to do a quick overview, or rather a quick orientation with regards to human anatomy, specifically PTY 2010 and HAN 2110 for physiotherapy and radiography students. By by way of introduction, you must understand and realize that you are about to begin a study of the human body. That is to learn how it is organized and how it functions. But now, in order to really understand what happens when the body is injured, what happens when the body is diseased, what happens to the body when it is placed under stress, you must know how it is organized, and you must know how its different parts work. That is of great importance. So now, firstly, let's talk about what is human anatomy all about. So in a nutshell, you must understand that human anatomy is primarily concerned with the study of the structure and the relationships among the structures. What do we mean? What this simply means is that if you are to study the stomach, for example, you will also consider the structures which are related to the stomach, um, around the stomach. So you have to understand the structures relating to the stomach, which structures are in front of the stomach, which structures um, are posterior to the stomach, and which structures are lateral or medial to the stomach. So that is what it means. So human anatomy is all about studying the structures and the relationships among those structures. Secondly, what exactly are the components or are the subdivisions which make up this anatomy? So you must understand that human anatomy is basically categorized or subdivided into gross anatomy, which is also known as macroscopic anatomy. So this gross anatomy has to do with the study of the structures which can be visibly seen with your naked eyes without the aid of any equipment or material in order for you to see those structures. So in other words, gross anatomy has to do with the study of large body parts that you can see with your own eyes, that you can touch with your own hands without the aid of any equipment or instrument. Then you have what we call microscopic anatomy. Microscopic anatomy. So this microscopic anatomy, sometimes it is referred to as histology. Okay, it is also referred to as histology, and this component basically has to do with structures that you cannot see with your naked eyes, hence the word microscopic, from the word microscope. So this component or subdivision of human anatomy will require an instrument known as a microscope for you to be able to see the body parts accurately and effectively. Okay, so this microscopic anatomy, as you will begin to study this aspect in depth, you will realize that it comprises of tissues and body cells. Then lastly but not the least, we have what we call embryology. So embryology is also another component or subdivision of human anatomy. So this embryology can also be referred to as developmental anatomy, as it has to do with the development of a structure from the start to the point where it becomes effective. Okay, so you find that under embryology you will study things to do with how a person, how a human being develops. Okay, how a human being develops from the time from the time of fertilization that you did in because you looked at issues to do with fertilization when you were when you were in junior secondary school, and also in your high school you looked at the fertilization process. So you start from fertilization until a child is born. Okay, that is embryology. You go through that all those stages. Okay, so embryology is also vast, but in a nutshell, that is just what embryology is all about. So basically, those are the components of human anatomy. Okay, so now let's talk about the continuous assessments. Let's talk about the continuous assessments. So the continuous assessments, which are which make up the CA. Okay, the CA. So the continuous assessments basically accounts for 40%. Okay, 40%. So out of 100%, 40% is for the continuous assessments, and you must understand that these continuous assessments, the pass mark is 50. Okay, so a C, for you to get a C, you must get a 50. That is the minimum for you to clear this particular course. Okay, so now in this 40%, you are going to have three assessments. So you're going to have three tests in this course. You're going to have three tests, okay, which will be given before you write your final exam. Okay, so you have test one, test two, and basically test three. But you must understand very well that all the assessments are equally important. So do not trivialize or give superiority maybe to the first test or the second test or the third test. At the end of the day, it is all those three assessments which will help you to have a proper CA that will not give you headache when the time for exam when the time for final exams comes. Okay, so um, it is very important that I re-echo this point that you must be able to stick to your curriculum. Otherwise, you will end up revising unnecessary papers and unnecessary notes. Okay, so you must stick to your curriculum. Okay, as far as this course is concerned. Why do I say so? It is because you have human anatomy under the School of Nursing Sciences, you have human anatomy under the School of Public Health, you have human anatomy under the School of Medicine. Okay, so if you want to study notes or materials or past papers from the School of Medicine, you discover to say that um, in as much as the content might be a bit similar, but there are some things which might be different. So as a result, you end up revising or studying things which are not part of your curriculum or which are not part of the things that you are going to be assessed on. All right. So now with regards to the final exam, with regards to the final exam basically accounts for 60%. Okay, the final exam accounts for 60%. By the way, for you must always clear your continuous assessment, of which out of 40% you must get a minimum of 20% in order for you to qualify to sit for the final exam. So back to the final exam. So the final exam accounts for 60%. Okay, out of the 100%, 40% is for the continuous assessments, and then 60% is for the final exam. And this final exam basically will comprise of all the topics that you are going to cover. Okay, will comprise of all the topics that you are going to cover. And I should also make this point clear that as far as this course is concerned, that is PTY 2010 and HAN 2110, the most bulky subdivision or component of this course is gross anatomy. Gross anatomy, because when you begin to practice, when you start practicing, you'll find that you will focus much on the gross aspect. Okay, so gross anatomy will take approximately 50% of the entire course. Then 50% will be shared between histology and embryology. Now, having said all that, how does Get Ahead Institute come in to ease your journey in this course? So, as Get Ahead Institute, we offer online tuitions. We offer online tuitions which are of standard with your curriculum, with our qualified and experienced tutors. And not just that, as we offer these online tuitions, all our classes are recorded in order for our students to have easy access to revision and catching up in case they need to to do a reference to what was covered in the previous classes that we might have had, and maybe they had unforeseen circumstances such that they were not able to attend the class, they can be able to catch up with the classes or the sessions which they might have missed. And not just that, Get Ahead Institute gets to administer weekly quizzes to its students every week. We administer quizzes in this very course in order to equip our students and familiarize them with how the questions and everything are prepared in this course by the examiners and by their lecturers. And not just that, lastly but not the least, with our experienced team of tutors, basically Get Ahead Institute gets to offer intensive guidance and mentorship in this particular course in order to see that our students get to ace their continuous assessments as well as their final exam. So these intensive guidance and mentorships are in two ways. We have individual tailored guidance and mentorship, and also group guidance and mentorship um, um, uh, activities in order to meet individual needs and group needs, because we understand that people are of different characteristics, and as such we try by all means to meet individual needs and group needs. Nevertheless, for more information, or at all you want to register with Get Ahead Institute, you are free to call us or to WhatsApp us on the following numbers as projected on 0955 396797 or 0762 182144, and we will be able to attend to you. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. God bless you.